Welcome to the beautiful Belle River on the Lake Classic Cruise. Most of this video was shot at the hottest time of day, and that kept a lot of people off the streets, and I believe the oppressive heat may have kept a lot of cars at home. Seemed like everyone was scrambling for every bit of shade they could find. And no wonder, with temperatures in the 100-degree range plus humidity. Let's go for a cruise along the eastern end of Notre Dame to see some of the cars that were in Belle River on that day. Now the western end of town. Please know it was impossible to get all the cars into this video. If I missed yours, I'm sure it'll show up in one of the videos ahead. Here now is a random look at some of the individual cars at the show. Joe brought along two of his cars. This Lincoln convertible and his Cadillac. There's Daryl's Riviera, Rick's '58 Chevy pickup, and another Rick with his 5-window coupe hot rod. That's Oscar's car on the left, and Ed's newly acquired Meteor Niagara on the right. You might want to pause this video in a moment to read about this neat-looking 1941 Willys. This is quite a car. It looks about perfect to me, from the paint to the interior and the Corvette computerized LS1 engine. Dave and Marcy were here with their cool tea bucket. Always good to see them. And Carrie has owned this '78 Chevy Malibu for about 23 years. Like all cars, there's a story behind this one.
I was working with the MTO at the time, and the car pulled up to me at a red light, and I loved the way it sounded. I actually pulled it over and swung a deal with the guy within 30 minutes, and I've owned it ever since.
The engine in Carrie's car has been traded out many times, and each time increasing its horsepower. Now it's ranging at 800 HP. The Malibu is race-equipped, but never raced. This is one of the very last Bricklands ever made. Brickland shut down in '75, but this was built by the Liquidator in '76, one of only a small handful from that year. Rick is a Brickland collector. He tells us how he got the car.
So I went down and bought a tractor-trailer load of parts. And while I was there, I said, "Oh, you want some cars?" And they had this and two other 76s sitting there brand new. This car had just under 400 miles on it when I bought it. And I said, sure, why not? So I bought this car and the parts, and now I have a whole bunch of cars.
A whole bunch of cars means Rick owns 9 Bricklands. He says it's time to thin out the herd. This '62 LeSabre was Dave's dad's car. He restored it single-handedly in his driveway as he didn't have a garage at the time. It needed a lot of work, but now it's a beautiful restoration. A custom '56 Chevy. All the chrome has been removed. Dave keeps his '70 Chevelle in top condition. It's equipped with a factory 4-speed and 454 engine. And John has owned this 69 GTO Judge since it was a year old. I asked him why he bought it. His reply, "I like the color." Sounds like a good reason to me. There's a 57 Corvette. This is Bob's 63 Galaxy XL. Under the hood sits a 406 engine. Still a bit of work to do to this car, but Bob says he'll get at it. We'll watch and see. Jim's 62 XL convertible. And at the show, I met a guy named Rick and his 57 Chevy Post. A lot of work went into this car. He's rightfully proud. Ray's rare 1954 Packard Patrician. Ron always keeps his Monte Carlo shined up with fast wax. It always looks tip-top. And there's Mike's 64 Comet Caliente and Joe's 66 XL convertible. Bought years ago so his son would have a car to drive to college. Ed's gleaming 32 Chevy. Well, as mentioned at the outset, I couldn't get all the cars in, but this should give you a taste of what the Belle River on the Lake Classic Cruise was like. A hot day, but plenty of cool cars. I'd like to thank all the good folks who offered this weary and sunburned guy bottles of cold water and a place to sit down out of the sizzling sun. Your kindness is much appreciated. Thank you. So long for now from the Belle River Classic Cruise. And as always, we'll see you at the car shows and cruise nights.